What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of It's Nothing Personal, Just Buffalo. I am your host, JTM. Got my co-host in the building with me, as we like to call him, the NFL pedigree, James Mallory. Big win for the Buffalo Bills last night, going into New York, as we're going to call it, the escape from New York. 23-20. The Bills moved on to 4-2. The Jets fall to 2-4. The Bills take a 2-game lead, and a game and a half lead over the Miami Dolphins and our New York Jets. Big trade news out of the AFC East today. Tonight we'll talk about that as well. The Bills acquiring receiver Amari Cooper. Hey, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. A couple weeks back, if you guys are tuning in about that, we talked about the show a couple weeks ago. The Jets getting Devontae Adams. So a move for a move. Love to see it. Love the competitiveness there in the AFC East foes. James, coming to you. The Bills outlast the Jets 23-20, and I see a wacky game, a game that I'd say had a little bit of everything. As Aaron Rodgers, wrong routes, officiating impact in the game. We'll talk about that tonight. Missed field goals from both teams.
Yeah.
You name it, and this game had it.
Yeah. It was crazy. Listen, that game was wild. I mean, if you think about everything, like, how often do you see an extra 3 missed field goals in the game, a missed extra point, 200 yards and penalties, personal fouls, fluke, roughing the passer penalties. It was one of those type of days, right? What I love is that the Bills, instead of finding a way to lose, the Bills found a way to win. Right.
Yeah.
This is one of those games that I thought we would have looked back on and be like, we let one slip away. I thought if we'd have lost this game, this would have came back and bit us in the behind. That's my opinion. We had to finish this. We had to finish it. And we did. I think we did a good job of just getting it done. You know, some guys stepped up, took care of business. No excuses. Came out with the W, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving that right now. I'm enjoying that win.
Gotta be ecstatic about it. Like you said, man, over 200 yards to penalty. Most penalties called. Correction. The most penalties called in the game this year, or most accepted penalties. 22 accepted penalties for a total of 204 yards is ridiculous. And like I said, we're really going to touch on that tonight. But overall, the Bills did find a way to get the win. Deja vu, right? 2020, late fourth quarter. You got the ball, they have the ball. And this is why when we talk about Sean McDermott on this show a lot, and we always use the word when it comes particularly to his team, the main word we use is resilient.
Yes.
Okay? Same scenario last week. Really no different outside of getting the ball at the freaking 1 yard line or 2 yard line with 40 seconds left and trying to figure out what you want to call because the team had 3 timeouts. But bounce back. Nah, we're going to talk about the Hail Mary a little bit tonight too, because this is becoming, this like you said on the phone earlier, this is now a thing that has to be handled. But resilient, man. You know, injuries. No James Cook. Khalil Shakir obviously on the bag wheel. Curtis Samuel looked a bit healthier last night. So
yes, he did. He did. He was moving really well last night. I think it took him a little bit. You could tell he's starting to feel better and better.
Yep. Once again, no Von Miller to suspension. No Ed Oliver again. And these boys stepped up. Yes. I'm going to come to you first. Obviously, we're going to talk about Ray Davis, man. I know that's your category in the game they had. Now, Ray Davis had to step in for James Cook, a late scratch from the game. We thought he was going to play. I don't know if the Bills were playing a little bit of cat and mouse here, not trying to show their hand that he wouldn't play this week. But obviously he didn't play. Ray Davis, phenomenal game last night. Phenomenal game. I think he totaled 152 yards in general in this game. But he ran for 97 yards. What'd you see from the rookie running back, man?
I seen patience. I seen grit. That dude runs the ball with some authority, right? That's just promising, man, because now if you think about these weapons, and we'll talk about the new weapon we just added, we'll talk about that later in the show, right? Ray Davis is an efficient runner. He's always falling forward. He reminded me of Devin Singletary some, right? But a little more burst, it seemed like, right?
Yep.
And he's just straight ahead. So you think about this. We can rely on Ty Johnson to give us some productive plays. You
Absolutely.
got Ray Davis now, and you also have, obviously, James Cook. So you have three weapons in when you're talking about December, January, to be able to help carry that offense. If those three guys can get going with Amari Cooper, Keon Coleman, Curtis Samuel, Shakir, Dalton Kincaid, there's really no excuse for the offense not to be able to produce, right?
Right.
There's no excuse to me. There's zero, right? What more do you want? You get what I'm saying? And
Right.
you got to sprinkle Dawson Knox in there because he's somebody you do have to account for. He scored a touchdown last night,
And we
right?
found him. We found that milk
Yes,
carton last night. We found him. We located him. I
yes.
didn't know
So
where the hell he was, but he showed up last night. Hopefully he stays somewhat involved and we don't lose him again. It was
yes,
nice. It was nice seeing 88 out there. I
yes.
don't know if he's been out there all season, but he was there.
Excuse me. When you can get somebody like that, you talking about these weapons, man. That's what it's gonna come down to, beating a team like Kansas City. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
be able to run the ball efficiently. Like you don't want to get into a shootout no matter who they got on the other side. You want to take their best player out of it, which is Patrick Mahomes. If you can run the ball, control the clock, and we got a weapon now too with Josh. We know he that dude too. But
Mm-hmm.
you also want to be able to take away their weapon, and that's Patrick Mahomes making plays. Right? If we can do that, you can run the ball efficiently with those three. I mean, that's awesome. Ray Davis had a great day. Sorry, I gotta grab some water.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had an awesome day. Be right back, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. You got it. I'll talk Ray Davis a little bit. But obviously I just want to give Dawson Knox a round of applause. We did locate him. I know we put an ABP out for him. I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, but we're not gonna call it a silver alert. We just call it a Bills alert. We put one out for him. We found him last night. He showed up, so we give him a round of applause for showing back up. Dawson, you get a round of applause, all right? But no, back to Ray Davis. This kid came in and he stepped in to a very, very tough moment. Coming in for James Cook, who has been playing, honestly, since midway through last season, playing lights out, right? Stepped into a game, and we didn't know how it was going to fare. We've seen this play out before when it has not worked out this well, okay?
Yep.
But the step in, 20 carries, 97 yards, 4.8 yards to carry. Not only that the carries, but then led the team in receptions too. 355 yards last night. It wasn't just what he did, it's what he did at what point in the game and setting the tone for this offense at the beginning of the game. The same thing that we've talked about, the emerging superstar James Cook has done multiple times this year. The running back setting the tone. We didn't miss a beat. And in talking about Ray Davis as well, I do want to give props up to Ty Johnson. Ty
Yes.
Johnson also added 4 carries for 34 yards and had an average of 8.2 yards. Okay,
And that
so
first carry, man. I'm not gonna lie, JT. I didn't think he had the juice to get around the edge the way he did. That dude
yeah,
hit the corner, man.
yeah,
He
he did.
got it. He got
And
it.
it's not the first time he's shown us. He's shown us a lot around the goal line with that. But overall, last night, the running backs between Ty Johnson and Ray Davis, 24 carries for 131 yards. That is as efficient as it gets on a road game on a Monday night versus actually a pretty strong defense in the New York
Yes.
Jets.
JT, you know that's the secret to winning the Super Bowl, right?
Absolutely.
That running back room is gonna win us the Super Bowl, not the receivers. That running back room is gonna win us the Super Bowl. That's gonna
Right.
get you to the Super Bowl.
Right. So, obviously, this is a kid that came to very, very decorated coming out of Kentucky and Vanderbilt. Ran for over 1,000 yards at both SEC schools. Okay. Neither one of those teams are top SEC schools. Not Bama. It's not Auburn. And he ran wild versus those top teams. So the moment wasn't too big for him. Stepped up. I think that this shows you that maybe he can take a little bit away from James Cook workload, just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit, just to keep him healthier. You know what I mean? Keep him more fresh. Because I think I said on the show of the week, it seems like when James Cook get 2 back-to-back runs really well, we run that third and he's kind of gassed. So maybe this third run we start putting Ray Davis in there and maybe just cut the carries down just a little bit. So
Yep. I agree. And honestly, I hope the Bills hold James Cook out another week. We don't want this thing to linger. Let that guy rest, man. Even Oliver with the hamstring, let him rest another week, right? We should be able to handle the Titans with that roster we got right now. We should, right?
And you know what? The thing is, as Doug Augie, my man Doug says in the chat about the offensive line left aggression. We have to give it up for this offensive line. This offensive line has played well all
Yes.
season, especially in the run game. You know, we can go back 2 years where I was talking about the amount of reps that we were getting in practice where wasn't much with the Bills run game, and why the offensive line was so putrid at the time as far as man on man, hand on hand blocking. We're moving people.
Yes.
We're moving people up their spots. We're creating holes.
Yes.
So big ups to offensive line. But no, I thought Ray Davis had a hell of a game last night. Stepped in for the injured James Cook, and like you said, it gives you a little bit more courage to say, okay, if we do want to hold Cook out for this Titans game, we can go with Ray Davis and Ty Johnson, and we're okay. And it was actually pretty dope seeing Frank Gore Jr. get pulled up, and I know you saw his dad at the game.
Yep.
That was pretty cool. Actually, seeing the same jersey, and they look just alike. That's
They do.
Dope. They didn't get any carries, but that's okay. The Bills' running back room was one of the best running back rooms all the way down to the practice squad in the entire NFL.
100% not is nothing to talk about. And then it shows when we run. I would love to know the stat, and I used to look at them now. When we run the ball, like 20 plus times, like what's our record? You know what I'm saying? Like when we run the ball efficiently, man, like we damn near impossible to beat.
You talking about with running backs, right? Now, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I remember last year we ran this stat, and I don't remember what game it was, but at some point it was like 8-1 or 9-1.
Yeah, we got a ridiculous because when we run the ball efficiently, dude, we're damn near unbeatable.
Right. It makes Josh that much better. So when we talk about the running game and we talk about Josh Allen having 0 interceptions this year, that plays into it. That plays the biggest role into it. It's getting those 4 yards on first down, getting those 3 yards on second down, and putting you in shortened yardage on third downs.
Yes.
It protects the football. It takes away Josh having to play hero ball or having to call down the distance. It's a lot different calling the offense from 3rd and 3 to 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9, some of these situations that we've been in previously. So that's really what plays into keeping Josh Allen reeled in a little bit here.
Yes. You know what? And it's just when you got a running game, he don't feel as if he got to put that load on his shoulder. You get what I'm saying? Like,
right.
He got some dudes that's going to hold him down back there. And I'm really liking what we have right now. I do.
And it protects him from the hits, too. So I want to talk about the defense before we bring D-Dot in and talk about the offense and the do you feel like the Bills' defense gets enough credit for their performance this season?
No. They're a very underrated unit. Think about the guy, the resilient. This is a resilient group. You think about the guys that's been backups, right? That's come in and played well. You look at, Cam Lewis. You look at the guy. The gentleman's name we claimed off waivers, or we signed off the practice squad from Atlanta, the big guy.
Oh, Simon Log?
He started last night.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody noticed that. He started.
I didn't catch that.
Yes. If I'm not mistaken, he started last night. If not, he was damn sure in the first couple of plays. You look at him, right? You look at Solomon is getting some quality reps out there. Dorian Williams stepped up, right? Spector was in there on the goal line. These are guys who will have a backup role. Guys are injured, and we still 4-2. If I told you we would have Matt Milano, Taron Johnson, Von Miller, Ed Oliver, Taylor Rapp. If I told you those 5 guys were all missed games within the first 6 games. Significant playing time. What would you guess our record would be? Would you guess it would be 4-2 and number 1 in the division?
Nah, man. No.
Yeah.
Nah,
so when you look at it, I think people don't understand, and they balling. They have literally had us in every single game. We've been in every single game to win. They've had every excuse why they could have, looked bad. And they're just making it happen. These guys are balling, and it's just making the team better because the more reps they get, that's making our team, that depth, just more and more, just deeper, right? And I just love what they're doing and what they're bringing to the table. I love what the defense is doing. We with the pass rush, I thought Russo would get after a quarterback a little bit more. I ain't gonna lie, I did.
No.
But at the same time, the most important thing to me right now is they're solid against, overall just their production. I think the pass rushing to come, and I think that's where we can miss Von Miller at times.
You know what, Greg Rousseau? I know when it comes to him and his that contract comes up, we're going to look at the sack numbers. A lot of people are going to look at the sack numbers. Like,
He's the lead against the run.
He does so many things well on a football field. He does. He never really loses contain. He never loses containment. He never really gets blown off the ball. He never really takes a bad angle at the quarterback. You always have to worry about him and it collapse in the pocket. He collapses the pocket a lot. Okay, and that it doesn't show up on the stat sheet. But it's not a guy that you could easily run to his side, and it's a guy that you have to worry about throwing check downs to his side of the field for him knocking it down. You name all those things that he does well on the football field. There's a lot of your best pass rushers in the NFL that don't do half of those.
Yes.
And I'll give you an example of Micah Parsons. And I'm a Micah Parsons fan. I'm not comparing Micah Parsons to Greg Rousseau, but you can run at Micah Parsons. You should run at Micah Parsons.
We did. We did last year.
Yeah, we showed the blueprint. Okay. B. Micah Parsons rarely ever knocks down a ball. He never gets his hands up. Okay, so if you're going to throw slants and quick routes that side of the field, you're going to get those passes off on him. Okay, and like I said, 3, he doesn't really collapse the pocket if he's not getting the sack himself. He's not collapsing the pockets for his teammates. And once again, I'm not shitting on the Micah Parsons talent, if you want to call it that. That's not what I'm doing. He's an elite pass rusher, but I'm just showing you there's a lot of things that don't show up in the stat sheet that Greg Rousseau gives you. That 100%. In the future, and AJ Epinesa is a great player too. I mean, he showed up and showed out last night against one of the best tackles in the history of the NFL, and Tyron Smith, who's still pretty good, by the way.
It's looking like the contract we gave him is more than fair.
It's cheap.
It's looking more than fair right now. It really is. And I wasn't a fan of it. I'm like, but think about this, JT. If we would have let him walk right now, yikes.
Man. Well,
yikes.
With him, you know what it is, I think, with Epinesa at this point in time? The confidence is oozing.
He would have had 2 sacks last time if they wouldn't have called that BS one back.
Oh, my God. I mean, when the quarterback that got sacked, I am not an Aaron Rodgers guy, okay? I am not a big fan of his, but you have to, he respects the game of football. He respects the NFL. He doesn't respect the business part, but he respects the game. And when he says, that wasn't rough in the pass, that was awful.
Yeah.
You got to respect that. And that may have been one of the worst rough in the passer calls I've ever seen. So that brings me, actually, I want to stay on defense really, really quickly. Terrell Bernard. Last week, I felt like he was a tad bit slow coming back, a little bit rusty. This week, I thought he picked up speed for sure.
Yep.
But I will say this. I felt like Dorian Williams slowed down just a little bit this week when you start getting to the RPO and a veteran quarterback that passes the ball a lot, moving defense around with his eyes, seeing everything before the plays. It kind of exposed what we've said about Dorian a little bit, about his play versus the pass. Not that he was awful, because he's gotten a lot better than he was last year.
Yeah.
I will say that. But there was still times it was like, I think he looks lost out there in the pass against the pass.
Yeah.
And we have to consider at some point this team that's already playing well on defense, outside of allowing 140 yards rushing per game, which they got to get better with that, is going to get Matt Milano back.
Yep.
We're going to get Von Miller back. We're going to get Ed Oliver back. That's a lot of pieces.
Yeah, I'm a fan for holding them out until they're 100%.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of holding them out to their 100%. Sit Ed Oliver again this week. Sit James Cook again this week. Sit them guys until they're 100% healthy. We don't need a hamstring lingering with Ed Oliver all year. Sit them. Let it heal. You know what I mean? These guys can hold it down.
So, but anything else you want to add about the defense? What about the secondary? What you feel about the safety play last night?
I could be a little critical of Hamlin play. A lot of people are gonna look at stats and say he's playing well. It's not the case. I'm gonna give an example of that that long run that Breece Hall had. That was his run fit. He took the path of least resistance.
Hamlin,
went inside instead of fitting it, and they popped it.
Yeah. I saw it.
Even if he take the block on in his run fit lane, right? That's not that big of a run. They get a decent gain. It's not that big of a run. He took the path of least resistance. Brees Hall read it and was gone. Taylor Rapp ironically made the play. He played really well last night. Um, that play he made on the tight end won us the game, in my opinion.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
That won us the game. That won us the game.
Phenomenal.
He played really, really, really well. I think it's time, to be honest with you, for Cole Bishop, Taylor Rapp, secondary. Like,
Do you think they'll make the change?
no, not right now. No, because I don't
I'll get to
think
your question, Doug. I see it.
I don't think Doug. I was about to say I don't think Doug. I don't think Demar has done anything to lose his job.
Right.
He's held on to it. He hasn't won it. He's just held on to it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense to people.
And Sean McDermott defense, like I say, he's going. If he's going to put anybody in the right spot, it's going to be the safeties. Oh, you know what? Before we go, the Hail Mary before the half. 20-10. It's a 2-score game going into halftime. Listen, dude. Okay. I don't know what we got to do to fix this, but 3 things I saw. Completely wrong at the beginning of this Hail Mary throw. Dallin Lazard, okay? A, you're rushing 2 people. Okay? And those 2 people you choose to rush is Daquan Jones and Dwayne Smoot. Stop it. You know Roger has a history of this. Okay? If you're going to give it the field goal, give it the field goal. But don't rush 2 people and let it be Dwayne Smoot and Daquan Johnson. Second thing. If you know that a Hail Mary may come in, you had those people back. You got to put your leapers and your best athletes in the game. Okay?
Yep.
There was no Cole Bishop. There was no Kyer Elam. These guys are your best jumpers, you had your best verticality, and honestly, some of your taller players. And even at that, I would even go on the limb of saying, and I know it was 13 seconds, so maybe you don't put him in yet. But at some point, maybe in the future, we consider putting Keon Coleman back there for a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
The bat. No one went for the bat. No one went for the bat. Now, everybody would have catch. All they do is a vertically challenge. Teron Johnson is boxing out for a fucking, excuse my language, for a rebound. Okay? I don't know what he's doing. He's under him like this. The ball's up here. Go up and get it, and you're in the front. This cannot happen anymore. Yeah. Like, we had the Hail Murray. Then you had another game. I forgot what the other game was where they caught another one on us. And then you had another game where they caught it and they were short of end zone. Like you said, this is now a thing. How do you fix it? How do you fix this?
Gotta play smart, man. You're a professional football player. You gotta play smart. Period. That's all I can really say. You gotta play smart. You have to.
Knock the damn ball down. They teach you teach that in Little League, right?
I do. We work on that. Yes. Knock it down.
I coach girls flag football. I was at practice day. You know what we worked on? Knocking the ball down. Yep. Please. Just no more. No more. Put Keon Coleman or somebody back there that's not vertically challenged.
Yes.
All right. I want to talk about, before we go to the offensive side of the ball, and we get D-Dot to talk about the Amari Cooper trick. I know a lot of people waiting to hear about our thoughts on that. The refs. 22 penalties for 204 yards. Okay? Now, I just want to give you, that's the stats just from last night's game. In 2 games last year, between the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills, there was only a total of 162 total penalty yards called. In 2 games. I think from the Jet side, the Bill side, the media side, no matter who you're rooting for, you're just completely unbiased. It almost ruined the damn game.
It did. For me, it did sour it. Like, my brother and I, we were on the phone during it. And, like, I'm talking to my boy Jeremy. I'm like, then Rel calls me when this happened. He like, dude, what's going on? Like, it was ridiculous. There's certain things you just gotta let go. Like, some of the penalties, I mean, you gotta call, right? But certain, like, it got to the point where it's like they gotta start being so nitpicky. It's like, you throwing a flag on everything. It's like really, it was bad. It was bad. It was a referee show. Like you shouldn't even notice the refs during the game. It was bad.
Cody Wells says someone had it a part of their parlay in Vegas for the first half score. It was that bad. You know, you actually had a question. I'll make sure I get to your question, Doug. I'm not going to forget it before we leave this topic. But it got to the point where it was almost unbearable. And it's like, listen, I don't care who you calling it for. Just stop calling stuff. This is crazy. Um, I thought that the couple of ticky tack ones was obviously the Spencer Brown and Will McDonald. You know, roughing the pass, you know, unnecessary roughness. He didn't get on the ground and give that much of the business. But I do understand why they called it, because if you remember, they called that in the third quarter. There was almost a rift, a little fight there before
Yeah.
halftime. So I think that was a hey, get under control. How much do you think the refs went into this game thinking that knowing that they were going to rough a tight game because of what happened at the conclusion of the second game in 2023 when there was almost a fight in the tunnel? Deion Dawkins
I think it's
belly
more
flop on
about.
Michael
I don't even think it
Cummins.
was that, JT.
Yeah,
I think it's more about what Dawkins said at the end of or during on the off season behind
hating
him.
hating the Jets.
I think that was more the driving force than what happened
Yeah,
after last year, right? So I think that was the deal right there. Where they, which is smart. You want to make sure you keep control of the game. You don't want nothing crazy happening on a nationally televised game. Be a bad look for the brand. So I totally get it. But it was excessive last night. It was excessive.
what was the worst call outside the roughing the passer call? That was one of the worst I've ever seen in my life.
Some of those intentional groundings. What was the intentional ground or pass interference when the ball was like? I think we got one. Like it was like dumb fire. Like dude, like yeah, that was bad.
So I don't know. I think that the league will look at this and they're gonna have to talk to their officiating crew. Like, you never want to be a primetime game, especially a divisional game. Like, and the headlines read all day,
Yeah,
marred with penalties. That
yeah,
for the NFL and the brand and the shield, that's what they call it. That can't be a headline.
100%.
That cannot be a headline. Okay, so. Doug did ask a good question. He said, James, as a professional athlete, how do you guys keep your cool when the refs call a BS call like they did against AJ?
Talk stuff amongst each other and just know that you're never going to win that battle.
Yeah.
But man, they bugging out. Blah, blah, blah. But you will never win that battle against the refs. Never, never, ever, 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 ever win that battle. So just kind of talk amongst your teammates, talk it through like, hey, we got to watch for them. They on the bull today, y'all. So blah, blah. You just talk through it. And just make sure you keep it cool and just don't get caught up playing against the referees. You got an opponent. You're not playing against the referees. Stick to the plan, and you're playing against certain opponents. So.
And you know what? Like you said, the two things that's gonna cost you playing against the refs is gonna cost you penalty yards and it's gonna cost you money, because they're gonna hit that check. They're gonna hit that. What day you get paid?
Wednesday? Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever it is. They gonna
Yeah,
tap it. They gonna touch
yeah,
it.
yeah,
They
yeah.
gonna show. They gonna show your check some love. Let's say
The,
that.
the, the day we find Dawson Knox, Wednesdays, right? So Wednesday, the NFL they gonna get their money on Tuesday first before we get to you. Okay. So Uncle
Yeah.
Roger, Uncle Roger gonna get his on Tuesday. So you start fighting the refs, you gonna get yours Tuesday. Aaron Rodgers, he gonna get he got his already by 9 o'clock tonight. They got a little something for him.
Yep. Yep.
He got a lot to give, but he got a little something for him. But no, I thought the refs impacted this game too much. I think that it just got, for both fan bases, got to the point where it was like, listen, enough's enough. Moving on, we're gonna be joined by D Dot on here talking about the offensive side of the ball. Uh, big day for Bills Mafia. D Dot, we got Amari Cooper here, and yeah, man, I want to talk about the offensive side of the ball and what you saw last night. How did the Bills find their groove, get it back a little bit? Because obviously after the Texans and Ravens game, really, really, really bad, very, very ugly. What did you see offensively, schematically, for the Bills to beat actually a pretty daunting Jets defense?
Yeah. So we know against the Texans, right? The Bills ran the ball pretty well. right? This game against the Jets, they run the ball pretty well. Now, what's the difference? What I've seen is the utilization of play action. All right, there was some significant play action plays where we had our chunk plays or even drive or even plays to keep the drive going, right? Where play action was utilized. Wasn't as much movement in the backfield like how you would have with the James Cook. I think with James Cook, I mean how James and you mentioned earlier, JT, the backs that we have, it's a different archetype than James Cook, right? I love how they ran physically, but also when you're running physically, man, and teams know they got to bring that hard hat. Guess what? Now they got to start trigger. They got to start fitting that run. Now those linebackers start taking those read steps. That creates a little bit of lanes in that level 2 throws, right? That we see. So I love the utilization of the play action. Josh, 0 turnovers, man. 0 turnovers. We know what it looked like when he went to Meadowlands last year. It was first game. It was bad, man. It was bad. And honestly, that first game it looked like he was guessing a little bit, taking some risks, but they didn't seem calculated. This game, it seemed like he was more calculated, man. It seemed like when he was throwing the ball, it was more. So even if he was going downfield, it was like, all right, either my guy catches it or nobody catches it.
Yes.
So it was a very mature game from Josh. And I mean, we look at the stat line. I know numbers are numbers, but if you see the flow of the game, 76% for 215 and 2 tutties.
Yeah.
I mean, a solid game, man. Solid game. Solid game. Oh, one more thing. They threw a screen to Keon Coleman, which is what we talked about before. In a stack formation, and granted, I think it was like 3rd and 15 though. So I mean, defense playing off, but still, you see how he was able to get upfield. He got a good 6-7 yards, I think it was, something like that, 7-8, something like that, right? And then they also threw him a slant 2 times in the game, man. I mean, it's like, come on, you know what I mean? Give me more. But yeah, I love the game plan. I love the flow of the game. To be real with you.
What does that tell you about what Joe Brady went back to the lab and did? What do you, as an OC, what do you think he went back and said, okay, I got to get this done. I got to change this.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think Brady just really just got back to the basics of things, right? Because we know run the ball, counter with play action. Run the ball, counter with play action. Run the ball, counter play action. You know what I mean? The simple, I mean, the drop backs from Josh, that's all cool. The easy button throws, that's all cool. But man, these are grown men. You know, this is their livelihood. This is what they do. You start getting into a rhythm. I mean, other teams pick up that rhythm too. You're not the only one that's picking up the rhythm. You know what I mean? So I think that team started to kind of, get with the rhythm of the Bills. So I think as an OC, right? Because even with James and I, with coaching or what have you, if we're starting to hit a lull, we start talking about, okay, what can we do to break this lull, which is a rhythm in itself. It's just a not so good rhythm. You know what I'm saying? What can we do to break this rhythm and get back on the good pace of things? And I think Joe Brady just went back into the bag of run. Okay, let's play action. Let's draw those linebackers up. Now let's get the easy button throws. Now let's hit these second level throws. Even a little bit stretching downfield, slants, screens, and everything like that to the boundary, not necessarily just from the slot. So yeah, I think he tapped into that, which was dope.
There was an onus that we've heard multiple weeks about getting Dalton Kincaid, and we've actually said on the show one time getting him more involved in the game. It seemed like there was an onus put on that early to get him involved early and often. What do you think about? Obviously, I think he had 651 last night, and obviously I think there's a couple of targets off kilter. But then last week, obviously, we had the drops versus Houston that we talked about that he had to catch. Dalton Kincaid in this offense moving forward, and I mean, obviously with Amari Cooper coming now, it should be even more opportunities. What do you see come from him moving forward? Do you think this is a stat line we'll probably see at least 650, 7 for 70, something around there?
Yeah, I honestly think there's going to be at some point in time where it's going to be one of those breakout games where then it's going to start to snowball for him in a good way.
Yeah.
Right. 6 for 51 is dope in itself, but I wouldn't put it past him 8 for 110 or something like that. You know what I mean? Something where we're able to just really attack those safeties or those linebackers. As a matter of fact, I think I was talking to Mal about it, and I was saying I forgot what team it was, but I was like, I think it was the Ravens. I was saying I was wishing that they attacked. Who's the linebacker over there? Who's the linebacker over there, fellas?
Roquan?
Yeah, Roquan. Roquan. Roquan brings juice, yes, but we know he's a freaking liability in coverage, man.
Mhm.
He gets a more athletic guy on him. Tight ends have given him the business real quick. So I was talking to James. I was like, yo, I wish that they would have attacked him more. You got this dude Kincaid, agile. He's this matchup nightmare, man. Attack that. You know what I'm saying? Now the thing with it though too is I feel as though the Bills' offense was really condensed as far as where our bread and butter was. You know what I mean? You think James Cook, Kincaid, Knox when, you know what I mean? He makes his plays and everything
When
like
he
that.
shows up.
Exactly. When he shows up, but everything is within the freaking hashes, right? Adding Amari Cooper, that adds that to that outside. Now we know what Shakir does and everything like that, but Amari Cooper is a different archetype, different monster out there, right? So now you're able to spread that out some. Now you got to account for that. Oh man, it's game time all day. I love it. And I think Kincaid is gonna eat. Teams move here. Okay, now we're gonna hit you here.
And speaking of Amari Cooper, yeah,
I'm gonna tell y'all this. Let me throw a hint out there to y'all. When y'all see JT throw that arm up and start to sit forward, JT about to talk that talk. Whenever he do that, y'all, from now on, pay attention. When he throw that arm up here in that chair, he do this. He about to talk that talk. JT about to go get on. He on this JT ish. Just know that.
Yeah, you know how the old heads be there.
Yeah. Families from the South. Yeah. Time to sit up.
He on this JT ish.
Listen. Said a couple weeks ago, right? We sat on the show and we talked about the possibility. And we all agreed that there had to be a receiver added to this team.
Yes.
All three of us, hands raised. We all said we needed to be a receiver. Now, we all had kind of different takes. I know D-Dot was more, try to get Devontae Adams, try to get somebody in here. I know your sleeper was Deontay Johnson, which was not a bad fit. I was kind of on the Cooper train. Yeah. And not that Cooper was a better fit than any of the guys. For me, it was just contractually.
Honestly, JT, and we could argue, honestly, he is the best fit out of those three we named.
He might be. I mean, it's
for
hard
what we need.
Yeah.
Yes, I honestly, because the other two, they've shown, right, if things aren't going their way in regards to getting the ball, it becomes a problem. Amari Cooper hasn't shown.
Man, every time we on this show, someone giving you some balloons or bubbles, and I don't know how they do it, but I don't ever get none of it.
I mean, what can I say? But no, but I mean, let's be real here. We look at it from a skill standpoint, right? From what we need, Amari Cooper probably is the best fit, right? Because you don't need a guy that demands the ball, demands 10 targets a game. Right. That's not what we need. If we want to keep that everybody eats, but you got a guy that can get open when it's money time, he fits that. Deontay Johnson, if he don't get the ball, it's gonna be a problem. Like he showed in Pittsburgh, the dude stopped playing in the middle of the play because he wasn't getting the ball. Literally, he literally went, look, like, you running? Okay. I mean, look, let's be honest here. When Devontae Adams, I mean, if you watch the show that's on Netflix, he said, "Get me the hell up out of here." Like, literally said it when he knew he was on camera. He knew he was being filmed.
He knew it.
You get what I'm saying? So, is that somebody you want in the locker room with a young Keon Coleman, right? A guy that they're teaching. He's 21 years old, barely 21. If that we're grooming, that we're looking for him to be to receive the number one guy here for 10 years. Like, is that what you want? You want a guy like Amari Cooper. We wasn't hearing rumblings about him being unhappy and not playing hard. You get what I'm saying? So honestly, and then with his skill set, he'll route you up. Not no Devontae Adams, obviously. All three of them will route you up. He'll route you up. He'll get open. And when his number is called, he has shown to make big plays in big games. So let's be real here. Honestly, now I'm not saying it because we have him now. If you really look at what we were looking for, he's probably the best fit.
Right. So this is what and I was talking about a couple weeks ago, right? He checked all the boxes for Buffalo. Okay, he's 6'1". He's not necessarily a small receiver. You didn't need another, as we used to call him, the Smurfs. We didn't need another one of those, right?
Yeah.
He's a guy that has been a featured number one receiver in his career.
Yes.
Okay, so the role is not too big for him. B, he fits contractually. The Bills only had $3.5 million going into this trade. The Browns restructured his contract a couple weeks back. He's only about $1 million. Okay,
800,000 to be exact. 800.
Sweet, even better. Less than $1 million.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Think about it. We playing him less than MVS.
Yeah, and we about to pay MVS let more to leave. Okay, so boom, that checked all those boxes for us, right? The biggest thing is, like you said, the other box he checked, behavior. We just left the guy who we do or we don't know had behavior issues here in Buffalo. He may not have said anything verbally, but the body language wise, there was a problem. We didn't need no one of those, right?
Yep.
Now, the everyone eats mentality is there. Yes, because you needed somebody to provide that plate for these other guys to eat off of.
Yes.
And that's what Amari Cooper is going to do. Hell, it can't get much worse for him with the targets. He's coming off probably so far the worst professional start to his career. Okay? And I'm not blaming him because everything in Cleveland is bad. Everything. It's toxic. I don't know what to even call it. It's just bad. So it's a blessing for him to come here to Buffalo. Okay? Yes, he has 9 drops in the season. He has a drop rate of 17% right now. But on the other end, there's been 45% of his targets have been off the mark. Leads the NFL. Worst accuracy when targeted. So maybe some of those drops contribute to that, right? The other thing about Amari is, when I said on the show a couple weeks ago, right? If you played Houston and you gave those one-on-one matchups that you gave to Mac Hollins, or just for instance last night, if you put those matchups that you had with DJ Reed, one-on-one with no safety help like you did with Keon Coleman, and you did with Mac Hollins at times, you're going to get beat with Amari. This is a guy who had 1,250 yards last season in 15 games. He probably was on pace for 1,400. That's a number one. I'm going to throw another stat out there before we go to UD Dot. Okay? When targeted this year, his average depth per target is 12.1 yards per reception. Stephon Diggs, who was our number one last year, correct? Average depth per target last year was 10.1. And if you go to the last 8 games, it's probably less than that. Just for ha-has, Stephon Diggs, yards per target, at depth-wise, 2024 right now, 8.1 yards. So you actually are getting a deep threat as long as with an intermediate threat.
Yep.
D-Dot, Cooper, the fit. What we got?
I love it. With Cooper, it comes down to 2 T's: talent and temperament. Simple. James already touched on it. JT touched on it as well. He fits culture-wise. We know how big this regime.
Hold on, D-Dot. I can't hear you too well. Hold on. Try to fix your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yep,
There you go.
Good now. Yeah, you go.
Hey, there we go. My bad. So yeah, it comes down to 2 T's with Amari Cooper. Talent and temperament. You know, he fits within the culture, right? We talked about this before. We mentioned that we know how big this regime is on locker room fit, right? Not making a big fuss. I mean, the Browns are 6 games in. The man has 24 receptions for 250 yards. Like, that's bad. That's horrible. You know. And Amari Cooper, he's a technician, man. I don't know if you've seen any of his even high school stuff. Yo, he was routing dudes up, man, and you could tell. James was actually mentioning this to Rel when we went out to we went out for to check some of our high school guys out in Hornell, and he was talking about how you're able to see what a D1 guy really looks like, right? You're able to identify that. The more you're around ball, you see, oh, he's different, you know. And Amari Cooper, like even at that level, man, he was routing dudes up. You could tell, like, oh yeah, he works. Like he really works on his craft. He wasn't just, putting up some YouTube videos or something like that, like people like to do now. He was really in the lab, putting in that work, man, in the gym and on the field. So I love the fit. I think he work all three levels. I think the levels that he's going to benefit us most is the second and the third.
Yeah.
And then we already know what the underneath is going to look like, man, with Curtis and Samuel being Keon, if they, they give him some more of those screens and slants. Shakir, we know what Shakir could do at all three levels as well. And then of course Kincaid, man, it's gonna be fun. I like it.
And you know what? I want to give another stat out there, right? You said he has how many yards this season receiving?
250.
And that's bad for him. Do you know who the Bills' leading receiver is? Khalil Shakir.
Really?
249 yards. So for Amari Cooper down year so far, he still would be the leading receiver on this Buffalo Bills team.
Let me tell you something that's underrated that people not realizing. It's a couple things I want to mention. That's underrated. Not to cut you off, JT, but a couple things that people are overlooking. Mm-hmm. That's very, very important to me. Number one, you're probably gonna sign Amari Cooper to an extension, a 2-year extension.
Yep.
That's first. Probably gonna sign him to a 2-year extension. You're gonna line it up to when you're gonna have to pay Keon Coleman, hoping that he works out the way we all think. You're gonna line up a 2-year deal. That fourth year, then that fourth Keon Coleman fourth year, he'll play for the cheap, and you then start talking extension with him, and Cooper will be gone by then. He'll be ready to take it over. You already have paid Shakir as well. That's already out. I think that money's already allocated, right? So you're looking at it from the wide receiver position long term. Samuel's paid. You're going to pay Shakir, right? You're going to have some money to be able to pay Cooper. Cooper's not going to demand a ton of money. I'm telling you this right now. I'm almost ready to say this. If you offer him a 2-year deal, $20 million, I don't think he turns it down.
$20 million total or $20 million per year?
$20 million total. And you make most of it guaranteed. I'm guaranteeing you he don't turn it down. It's not going to be a lot of money on that market.
Well, I'll say this, okay? And I'll just comment on the contract.
And I got one more thing after that, too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Finish up.
No, go ahead. You can go ahead because it's on that point. It'll be something totally different.
I would say this. I agree with your point that it's going to be a guy that you'll be able to resign. And I think personally it'll be probably $20 million per year, maybe a tad less.
I don't think the Bills will sign him for that.
I think they would. I'm going to tell you why. They got the money, right? Premier receivers right now are going for 30 plus.
I'm thinking the Bills are probably, you could get them for 10 to 12.
10 is cheap.
You're talking about somebody that's going to be 31?
Yeah, but if he comes in and he puts production up, and it's a short-term deal, you're really talking about, I would say $20 million per year, but you're talking probably incentive-based for the third year, and you're also probably talking incentive-based for the latter years, right? So I can see the Bills doing, okay, he's going to be 31, 3 years, $60 million, but it's not just the $60 million, it's the $30 million that will probably be guaranteed.
The most I'm willing to say, I'm thinking maybe 20. I'm thinking 20 guaranteed.
Yeah, but that'd be fully guaranteed if you do 2 for 20.
Well, I don't know how it would be structured, but I'm looking at the guaranteed part of it. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you throw all fluff numbers out there, but the most important thing is it was guaranteed, right? So I'm saying 20 million guaranteed over those two. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if it'd be a 20. You know, sometimes it's like, it's 20 million per year, but it's all these fluff numbers. I think the most he'll get is 20 million guaranteed from here. And he wouldn't turn that down as a 31-year-old receiver with this quarterback situation after dealing with what he has dealt with. I'm willing to bet it's going to be a 20 million he's going to get guaranteed from the Bills.
Listen, not for nothing, it's a lot better going from one cold city to another cold city where you get some good wings. Now, I don't know if he got some good massages over there in Cleveland, but I'm just saying the wings are better than the massages that you may have got over there in Cleveland.
Listen,
that's
I don't know what the massage. Y'all wow. But I'm thinking they're going to resign him, and whatever the fluff number is, I'm willing to bet that number he's going to get 20 million guaranteed here. And at this point, when guys usually mature, because if he signed 20 million guaranteed here, he'll be able to tap the well one more time after those 2 years. He'll be able to tap it
Yeah.
one more time.
Yeah.
So if he want to go take 30 with another team, he won't get another contract. He'll just be a 1 year, 4 million. It's over. He'll be able to, if he get a 2 year deal here and get 20 million guaranteed. So I'm looking at that number. 2 years, 20 million guaranteed, right? He'll be able to tap the well one more time at
Yeah.
33.
I can
And
see
that's
that.
what I'm looking at, and that's what I'm almost certain the Bills are. I don't think they would waste a third round pick on a
Nope.
guy they don't plan on re-signing. I just don't see that happening. Um, and then also that takes you out of having to draft a guy really, really early. I thought they were, but after this trade, if they're going to extend him, you're not going to draft him early. And then my
Right.
last point is the most important thing to me: the wide receiver coach he had, Adam Henry,
Oh,
is
that's
our wide
right.
receiver coach now, who is very, very highly respected around
Good
the
point.
NFL. I think that was an upgrade over Chad Hall. People was crushed when we lost Chad Hall. We leveled up. That is a major, major, major hire that we have here. He's been here the last 2 years. He was with Amani Cooper. So the learning curve, the terminology, um,
Uh,
you get what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, for
Yeah.
example, like the deny coach, right? We may call something one thing with our UAS guys, another thing with our vets guys call it another thing, right? If we have a guy that's coming over from from the vets to UAS, if our terminology is a little bit different, like, hey man, this is Toronto right here. Run this play, it's Toronto, it's our old Toronto. Oh really? Okay, got you. You get what I'm saying? So now you come in after to learn a whole new playbook. He'll be able to break it down for him. Like, okay, listen, this is what we used to do here. This is what it translates to. This is the terminology. This is how we run it. Boom. That helps the learning curve. Instead of everything brand new. Your position coach is somebody you worked with for 2 years.
You know what? And I got this question. Was Adam Henry? He was in Cleveland last year, right?
No, the year before when Amani Cooper, he had. I know he coached Amani Cooper for 2 years. I know he had him. He had him for 2 years. We just
And
got
he
him
had
last year, so he had Amani Cooper for 2 years for sure.
and he had 2 solid years there. He had two of his better years there as well. Um, no, actually, great point. Indeed, I want to come to you real quick because we do have a question, and I actually want to take you to our guy Anthony Farrell. Thoughts on Steve Smith saying the Bills should move Keon to the slot? Do you think that this move, what do you think they should do that somewhat more, a little bit more, or do you think this move would actually allow that?
The only time I would see that move being beneficial is if they do that, like let's say in some red zone looks.
Right.
Because I mean, out on the bound within that slot, within the slot, everything happens a little bit quicker, right? You got to be able to trigger quicker. You got to be able to, okay, this guy's here, I got to go there. Okay, this guy's here, I got to sit there. It happens a little bit quicker. Out on that boundary, you have a little bit more. It develops a little bit slower, in my opinion. You feel me? So, and there's other ways that you could create those matchups, man. I mean, they did it with Diggs when they were reduce his split. They'll bring him in motion. They'll reduce his split. You don't have to just, you don't have to pigeonhole this guy and say, oh, you're going to work out a slot. You know, Steve Smith wasn't really big on Keon Coleman coming into the draft neither. He was kind of like, okay, well, he's talented, but
Right.
you know what I mean? So I treat that with a grain of salt as well. Honestly, I feel as though that would be lazy coaching. Mal knows that phrase. That would be lazy coaching, in my opinion. This dude, we knew he wasn't polished. Let this guy come in and learn, man. Let's just get him some easy throws. Let's ease him into the game. Now we got Amari Cooper, Amari Cooper, right? That's going to be able to take the reins of this. All right, now, okay, let's learn. Because even Keon Coleman even said it when we still had Diggs. He was like, yo, I'm coming in. I'm willing to learn from Diggs. Diggs wound up getting shipped out, right? Now he doesn't necessarily have that lead dog he can learn from. I mean, Shakir, he's just now coming into his own and all that good stuff. Now you got a guy who's established, he can learn from, and he can really just soak up all that knowledge, and then boom, now put it to the football field.
Yeah. Now you got something to add, or are you good?
No, I think we kind of hit on everything. I think once again, like my biggest thing, I just don't see the Bills trading a third round pick for somebody they don't intend on being here for at least a couple seasons.
Yeah.
To me, it's just I wouldn't be surprised you hear an extension coming for him towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
I just don't. I mean, that's just not what the Bills have shown. They value the draft picks too much for him to be a 1 year rental. I don't think they would do that.
Like I said, great value there. I'm just gonna throw the numbers out there now. What I think is what will happen. Uh, just so I got on record. 3 years, 60 million. I'm gonna go a little bit over your 20 guarantee. I'm probably gonna go 30 guaranteed with the bulk of it coming in the first year. Like almost 15 coming in the first year. Second year, maybe 10 million, with only like the third year being like 4 to 5 million guaranteed left. So you can get out of the deal. He'll be 33 at that point. Um, so if I had predicted that'd be the deal. And I just want to throw this out there. Back to back years, the Bills have traded third round picks. Rasul Douglas last year. Amari Cooper this year.
We traded a third for Rasul?
Yeah. Was
I
it a
think we
third?
traded a fifth.
No, I'm almost positive Rasul Douglas was a third round. I'll look it up just to make sure.
You could
I'm
be
almost
right. I
positive.
don't know why I'm thinking of fifth in my head.
Because they thought they were going to get a compository third round pick for Tremaine Edmonds, didn't they? So they traded their own third. And it didn't
we
come
don't
back.
get a compository fourth next year for Gabe, right?
Probably. We're going to get something for Gabe. I don't know. I mean, hell, at this point, the way he played the Jaguars, they shouldn't give us a damn thing.
No, you're right. It's a third. It's a third, JT.
It was a third, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Because I remember we thought they were going to get a compository pick for Tremaine Edmonds going to the Bears.
That makes sense.
Edmonds did not play the 85% of snaps. He only played 81, and it didn't end up getting to the third.
James, you're thinking what we got back. We got a fifth back from Green Bay.
Okay. Knew I wasn't tripping. Okay. That makes sense. Got you.
Yeah. Because I was a resident Titans fan here. Don't worry. We'll take care of you. Don't worry, buddy. I think I got to all the questions. No, Ray Cruz asked a question. He says, "What did he mean by move or rust?" I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I may have missed the headline.
I got you. I got you on that.
Put a tweet.
Yep,
Cooper put the tweet out.
Yep, Cooper. Yep, he put that. He put a tweet out
Instagram.
there. Yep. Yeah, Instagram. Yep. On the gram.
Okay.
He put that out there.
What do you know? What you think? You know what he meant by it? Probably.
Yeah, move. I mean, basically, if you're, there's a saying I go by: if you're green, you're growing. If you're ripe, you're rotten. It's the same thing, right? If you're not continuously moving and progressing, then guess what? You become old real quick. So he's saying move or rust. If he was stuck there and he was just collecting a check, you know what I mean? Then it's just like, okay, well, you're going to be easily forgotten and you're going to be let out to the pasture sooner rather than later. So he decided, let me get moving to where I want to go to, and now let's go eat.
And Ray Cruz also asks, do you think that there is such a jump in production there is lingering piece needed before the deadline? Do we get like a Crosby? With cap space, I think this is basically it.
Yeah.
I don't. Go ahead.
I don't.
You think one more?
I don't think it's it. Nope.
No?
It's going to depend on how we play the next. It's not going to be any more offensive set. Yeah. They're going to look at safeties. They're going to look at safety's a problem, man. Now, I mean, I thought, to me, it went safety then receiver. Safety's a problem. If there's a safety to be had, think about it. I don't think corner was a bigger problem than safety was. Like, corner wasn't a bigger problem last year, safety is this year. And they went out and got corner help. So you mean to tell me if somebody's not there that makes sense, they won't trade for him? In my opinion, I think they definitely will.
I think they're done. Like I told you, I thought that if the safety position got so bad, it's only one safety that's bad in my opinion. Okay, and that's number 3. All right, just saying. That's the only one that's bad in my opinion. All love, but he's the only one that ain't playing good ball in my opinion. So I don't think that if it gets that bad, you call up and you take the 3 away, you add a 2 to it, and you call it number 23, and you get Micah Hyde back in here. So I don't think you actually have to get more compensation. Or if you think Cole Bishop is ready, which I always thought was the plan from the onset, then you swap him. Or maybe you move Taylor Rapp over to free safety because he can play free. And bring Cole Bishop to a little easier role that's strong. Okay? So I don't think that I don't think we're going to give any more compensation, especially draft compensation at this point in time for another safety. Because I don't even see any available, really. On these losing teams. Like, not any that I'd say are superbly better than what we have. Now, we could throw out a Buda Baker name like that, but The question would be, what is it going to cost you to get Buda Baker? Because you already gave up a 3.
I look at it like this. I wouldn't think it'd be a guy like Buda Baker.
Yeah.
One thing they got an eye for is those secondary guys.
True.
The ones that people sleep on. It may be a guy out there we not even thinking of. Like, dude, who the heck would have ever thought Jordan Poyer would come over here from Cleveland and be a freaking all-pro safety? That's an eye for talent. One thing you got to give McDermott credit, that dude can spot some dudes that can play in that damn secondary. Because we got some dudes that can go in that secondary. Let's keep it funky. We got some dudes that can go. But right now, I don't trust the safety position. And if these guys made this move they just made today, that means they're not saying, all right, y'all, let's have a good year. Next year, let's go get it. No, they saying we going to get the Super Bowl this year. That was an aggressive move. And if you making aggressive moves like this, nah, you're going to get a safety right now if it's available. If not, you can. Not saying we can't win with what we have. I think we can. But if you have an opportunity to make your team better at safety, you go do it. If it's a trade that makes sense.
Sure.
Hey James, real quick, JT. How do you feel about the what is his name? Cine, C-I-N-E?
Oh, Lewis Cine. The last time I heard, they were talking about trying to make him transition into a sub-package linebacker.
Okay.
Lewis Cine.
I haven't heard anything about him in a minute, so I was
the dude that we signed.
Yeah,
that was a first round pick or something.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, personally, they haven't activated Mike Edwards either. So that's once again, I don't think that they view it as a big of a problem. Like, if the safety's going to get you killed, they're probably not. I mean, DeMar Hamlin plays so far back that ain't nobody going to get behind them, for Christ's sake.
Like I said, I don't think it'll prevent us from winning the Super Bowl if we take care of business. I just think, for me, when I look at run fits, if you look at most of the big runs and big plays we gave up, it's because of a safety. But like this, even Jordan Poyer, the one that fell back, that long run that's sitting in my head right now where DeMar Hamlin take the path of least resistance, that don't happen with Poyer here. And Poyer has missed some tackles and has struggled. That don't happen with him here, period.
Right. It's simple things. Like I said, it's not major, but it's things that you can't have happen, especially when you're talking about run fits and talking about teams like Cincinnati, Baltimore, Kansas City, teams that you can't make mistakes against in the postseason. And the Jets as well. Look at the Jets had a good run game last night. So, but last topic, man, D-Dot, you can stay on for it, man. You ain't got to get off for us tonight. So.
Yes. I made it to the
end. You start putting over-unders on it. Week 16, rematch. Do you think, and we're not going to talk too much about the Titans game next week, because like I said, we're really had a lot of topics to talk about in the show tonight. Week 16 rematch between the Bills and Jets. With the moves made today, do you think that game possibly will be for the AFC East crown? I'm going to come to you first, James.
No. Me personally, I think the Bills are going to be sealed it up by then. I think the Jets could, if anything, be getting hot at that time. But for the crown, no. I just think if we're taking care of business like I think now, we going to get so much of a lead. I don't think so.
Okay.
Because we go Titans and then who else?
Seahawks.
Titans, Seahawks. Think about this. If we take care of those two games, we 6-2.
If we take care of them, yeah.
If we take care of business like I think we will, 6-2. Just about halfway through the season, you 6-2. And just say we go, 6-3 at the end, towards the end of the season. They're not catching us.
Titans, Seahawks, Colts. That's what we have.
They're not catching us.
Titans, Seahawks, Colts. Like I said, even if you win 2 out of those 3 games, I think that Seattle matchup is really, really tough going out there. And that Seattle team is, I don't know what the hell happens with them. I don't know why they don't win more than they. I don't know why they don't win more than they do. It just seems like they find ways to lose games.
The Colts game scared me more than Seattle.
The Colts game don't scare me. Just the Seattle. I don't know. Because I feel like Anthony Richardson will be healthy by then. And that Colts team, I think when he's playing, is not a better team.
Because a running back like I think about Taylor. That's what I kind of think about, right? And they, I think about that. But Seattle.
Well, even if we agree to disagree on that one, right? And the Bills come out of that stretch and they win 2 out of 3. You're talking 6-3. And then then you, like I said, then you got the Lions at some point. in Detroit. You got the 49ers. You got Kansas City. Then you
49ers. The way they playing,
yeah. I mean,
they're a name right now. They production, they matching that name right now.
Right. But just like I said, it's not not necessarily an easy route, but we got some games. I mean, they're coming to Buffalo too. That definitely probably helps.
Yeah, because right now they're a name more than they are. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Jeff has Allen faced the top 3 defense this year. I'm not sure.
I don't even know who the top 3 defenses are.
Yeah, I don't. I know Buffalo's up there in the top 7, but I don't know. I mean, the biggest thing about the Ravens. We faced the Ravens. That's a tough defense. We faced the Jets last night. That's a tough defense. I'm trying to think who else. The Cardinals are definitely not a chance in hell. Who else did we play? The Dolphins? They're not a chance in hell. So, I mean, the Titans may be one of the better defenses we face for sure.
It's so early in the season that don't mean like a ton to me right now because you had 2 good games that make you a top defense. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's just so early to say that. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, and I think the Titans gonna play us tough. They're a tough team. I think a team like that is a tough out.
Yeah, they always play us tough. The problem with the Titans is not their defense; it's that offense. It's honestly the quarterback position. Yeah, they have a very big hole at that quarterback spot, and they really need to lose this season to fix that.
You don't think Will Levis is potentially that guy?
Nope, not a chance. Not a chance. He turns the ball over. I think he's a great backup quarterback. I love his energy and his antics and stuff like that. I think he's a great locker room guy, but he turns the ball over. No, absolutely not. So I think that's where the Bills, and I guess we'll touch on it a little bit. I think that's where the Bills will win that game is Will Levis, honestly, and his proneness to turn the ball over. So, Major Cole asked, when do we think Matt Milano's expect to return? They said November before, so I'd say probably a month from now.
And we know it. I don't know. I might be tripping, but every time, I mean, he's traveling with the team. To me, that's a guy that's coming back during the season. You know what I'm saying? Like, he travels to every game. That's somebody that's locked in because, I'm coming back. You know what I mean? So, fingers crossed.
Cool. Trevor finish off with the Pats, Jets and Pats again. So, yeah, I mean, the 2 Patriot games are going to probably help at the end of the season. Jeff says these idiots need to start Mason Rudolph, and I agree with him. You saw a half of Mason Rudolph in that Titans-Dolphins matchup, and that offense looked totally different. So thank God this week we'll get Will Levis, and then they can go ahead.
Time out. Mason Rudolph looked good.
Yeah, he did. He actually won them that ball game. He looked really good. He looked better than Will Levis. Like, Will Levis getting hurt that game was the best of the game.
That's why I'm big on these guys, just letting them sit and develop for a couple years, man. Like, quit just throwing dudes out there.
Yeah.
Like, after Cam Newton was the first one that they just threw out there week 1, they just let him ball. And he balled out. Now everybody think they can do that. It's just, it irks me. But another story.
And then I actually was saying about the AFC crowd. I do think that, listen, Vegas never loses, okay? No matter what we do, we're going to be in the realm of making money, right? I got this feeling that Week 16 matchup is going to be the Jets may be somehow 1 game behind us, and that's to tie us for the record, and then go into Week 17 with both teams needing to get a win or one team to lose or whatever. I got a feeling we're going to go to a situation like that. I don't think it's going to be quite like the Miami game where the last game of the season was Bills-Miami to just take off. You don't get that too often, but I do think that they're going to be there. Because 2 things are going to happen with the Jets. They're either going to put this shit together real quick because you're giving Aaron Rodgers his whole Green Bay receiving core that he never won a Super Bowl in the first place, or this is going to really implode really bad and really fast.
I look at it like this, JT. Like, I respect that. You could be right. What's their next 3 games? Pittsburgh, if you can look it up. One of y'all can look it up.
Pittsburgh, who's starting Russell Wilson all of a sudden.
I think that's dangerous because Russell Wilson isn't going to hurt the team.
No. So the Jets' next 4 games: Pittsburgh, New England, Houston, Cardinals, and then Colts.
Cardinals is not an easy out. So just say they go next 4, they go 2-2. I mean, that's still not good because they what right now they 2-4.
They're 2-4. I think they're going to
Yeah.
win. I think they're going to win all 4 games.
Wow, you're a nice guy.
I'm not being nice. I just think
they'll go 500. So you go 2-2, that puts you at 4-6.
Listen, not for nothing. Not for nothing, okay? I think they're going to win all 4. You look at this Pittsburgh team, you're putting Russell Wilson in there, who we haven't even seen take a snap for Pittsburgh. Let's be honest, okay? Justin Fields, it's not pretty how you're winning, but you're winning. I don't think this is a change you should make. But we do know that Russell Wilson has the strongest PR people behind him in the world. No one wants that problem, okay? I think the Jets are going into the game. I think they're going to win that football game. Because now everybody has to adjust to Russell Wilson and what you've been doing with Justin Fields for the last 6 weeks. Remember, his calf has been hurt supposedly since the preseason. So you're adjusting everything. Then you go to the Patriots, who I think, do we have to talk about that? We don't have to talk
always
about
a division game, though.
I don't care.
Always a division game.
I don't care. They're
Drake May did not play that bad, man.
He didn't, but he didn't. And who did they play? They played the Texans, right?
Yep.
Who
Texans gonna wax that hiney.
Who I've been saying, the way the Texans played us, and the way the Texans played New England on Sunday, it says more about Houston than it says those other teams. I think the Jets are gonna dog walk Houston.
Houston is gonna flop in the playoffs. I'll go that route.
No, I'm serious. I think they're gonna dog walk Houston. I don't think Houston at this point. I don't think Houston's that good. I really don't. I think they're not as good as a record. And then you talk about.
I can agree with that.
And then you talk about the Cardinals. Once again,
I'll bet you dinner. Matter of fact, wing nuts. What we're doing.
Okay.
Whoever, I'm betting you right now the Cardinals beat them. The loser has to pay for the other person wing nuts.
Book it.
A single order of wings.
Book it. DoorDash. That's when you live in different states. This is the power of DoorDash. So I'm with it. I'll take the bet. I think the Jets go 4-0, and I'm gonna tell you why. I think the Jets found balance in their run game last night, and that's what scares me the most. When they can run the football and they choose to run the football.
But what you're explaining right now, JT, has been the problem with the Jets. They show this and then they don't. The inconsistency. That's the problem. Well, that's why Robert Saleh is gone.
We haven't seen it. I mean, we're only 6 games into Aaron Rodgers, really. So I don't know. I mean, I think Aaron Rodgers is an asshole, but I don't think he's a dumb guy.
No.
D-Dot, you got something to add to this? Come on, man.
Listen, the key for Houston is when Joe Mixon comes back. That's my opinion. When he comes back, they're better. They're more efficient offense. If he's back for that Jets game,
he's back. He came back this week.
Oh, he did? Okay, I wasn't sure.
I wasn't sure. Too. He had 100 yards.
Yeah, I think once he has his legs back under him, I think that's a problem for the Jets. Look at how the Bills ran down the Jets' throat. No weird stuff. This past game, right? And they still got Dameon Pierce over there, I believe, because they just traded.
They traded Akers back to Minnesota.
Yep, there you go. Traded Akers. Yep. So they got to believe in Pierce, and Pierce runs tough, right? So I look at that. I don't think it'll come down to the end. To be honest with you, when the cold weather drops, what does the key come to? It comes down to the trenches.
Yeah.
I don't believe in the Jets O-line whatsoever. Elijah Vera Tucker, he's solid. Joe Tippmann, he's coming into his own. Yeah. The rest of them, garbage. Okay, garbage. Tyron Smith, when he whipped on that block on who was it? Rasul Douglas.
Rasul Douglas got him though. Rasul Douglas got him. No.
Yo, but come on now, JC. You got to be able to sink your hips and get your hands on somebody, man.
He went for AJ too a couple times.
Yeah, man. Yo, my man was upright, running like RoboCop.
And it was weird. It was weird to see him because he was so elite for so long in Dallas.
Really,
to see him looking like that, man. It's actually sad.
Yeah, it is. It is, and I'm not trying to dog them, but I mean, honestly, that's a weak point in their offense, man. And look at the work that Epinesa gave him. Epinesa with the see me here and I'm gone. Like he hit him. he hit him with some stuff yesterday, man. So I really don't believe in them in those trenches, man. I think Rodgers gonna come up holding that hamstring a couple more times, or that ankle or whatever, a few more times throughout the year.
If he gets hurt, that's something totally different, a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But
we saying if he's healthy.
But if he's healthy, I think in this stretch they're 4-0 because I don't believe in the Texans as much as you guys do without Nico Collins. Not against the Jets.
2-2.
I mean, I hope so. I appreciate that if they go 2-2. I
appreciate that.
I just, listen, man. Vegas and money works in mysterious ways.
I'm big on the Cardinals, man. They're a sleeper team for me, man. Them dudes.
I'm done with them, man. I'm done with them. I'm done with them this season. This season, I'm done with them. They got something building, moving forward, but Kyler Murray's starting to get that look on his face.
And James knows how I feel about Kyler Murray. I'm not a Kyler Murray guy, so I'm with you on that.
I'm a Kyler Murray fan. I am. I'm with you on that, man.
That body language is starting to switch up, and as soon as that body language is sitting by himself and he's playing video games throughout the nighttime, season's over, and I think we're almost there.
Yep, I'm with my JT pose, man. I'm with you. I'm with you right here.
Bad body language, man. Man. And it started coming, so I don't know. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be very interesting. Like I said, I'm with you, Jay. I hope that the Bills sold this up early. I hope that, I don't know if Tua's going to come back, but we can't. If the Dolphins can string some wins together without him, we can't count them out if he comes back.
And let's not forget about this. Devontae Adams still has a hamstring. Like, no, seriously. I hear you, but.
Like Charles Barkley said about James Harden a couple years ago. All of a sudden, he get traded, he going to put some ice out in that thing, he going to be ready to go.
It'll be very suspect if he does play immediately for them.
Oh, he going to play.
They played on him playing in week 7, I believe. There was a report out.
Damn well, y'all both know damn well that man that have no hamstring injury. He got the hamstring injury at the end of practice on a Thursday before a game. You know what that meant. Listen, we're going to trade you. We're going to put your injury report so you don't get hurt. Come on, man. Y'all know damn well. Y'all know damn well he wasn't injured.
We can only go off the report, JT.
I'm saying they're going 2-2 in that 4-game stretch. And the Cardinals is going to wax that behind.
I hope so. I mean, like I said, I hope. Listen, I don't think so. But hey, if it happens, I'll be jumping for joy. Jumping for joy. It's not a team that I want to see in the playoffs. Literally, seriously, not a team I want to see. But no, man, I think it was a good show. We covered a lot. Amari Cooper here in Buffalo now. We have a 2-game lead over the Jets, a game and a half over Miami. Miami's obviously still out with Tua. The Jets are going to have to try to figure out who they are and what they have. So, Jeff, listen, that's a long time ago, man. I hear you, and like I said, I root for you, and I root for your Titans too. But man, if you can't talk about Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry ain't there no more, man.
Listen, I'll never respect Derrick Henry for bullying DBs. Whenever you ever see him stiff arm a linebacker or a D lineman like that?
He doesn't.
There was a couple of times last year he got met in that A gap, and somebody I forgot who it was, but somebody toe tagged Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, listen, as a running back, Derrick Henry does not run hard. He's a big dude. He does not run hard.
He's a momentum guy. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, he does not run hard.
No, he doesn't. Yeah. So. But no, man, overall, great show. The Bills got the Titans. You guys want to give a prediction for the game? D-Dot?
28-24 Bills.
I'll go 20. I'll go 24. I'll go 24. 17 Bills.
Okay. I'm going to go 31-14 Buffalo.
I think that's how you feel, JT?
Listen, I watched Will Levis the last couple of weeks, and I don't feel like this game's going to be close because of him. I like the Titans' defense, but when your quarterback continuously puts your defense in a bad spot, there's only so much your defense can do, and I think he's just one of those type guys.
Who they studs on the defense besides Simmons?
I think solid. Simmons, Harold Landry's there. You got Lenarius Jazarius Sneed there.
Oh,
So
yeah, he is.
yeah. L'Jarius Sneed is there. No, their defense is solid. They probably could have more wins if you didn't have somebody who's incompetent at quarterback.
That's a
He's
fact.
he's
I'm not a
he's
Will
cost
Levis
he's costing them games.
I
Seriously.
haven't watched him much, to be honest, yo. I really haven't.
Yeah. So no, the Titans defense is solid. Tavondre Sweat, who's having a hell of a season over there.
guy. Oh yeah, do that.
Like I said, I've watched them multiple games this year. The Titans defense, they're good. Like I said, it's just that you have an incompetent quarterback. So you can't even run the ball when you have an incompetent quarterback. So Jerry Rice says the Bills always play lower than their competition. Also, they do sometimes. It depends. Every once in a while they do. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. I just don't think with this game. I don't think they're going to. I think that they're going to keep the momentum going because I think that Seattle's game is going to be a tough task for them. But other than that, guys, great show. Welcome Amari Cooper to Buffalo. Can't wait to see him. Is he going to be wearing? I wonder what jersey number he's going to be wearing. Do we have a number 89 on the team? Oh, that's not he can't. That's retired. It's Tasker. He can't wear number 2 because Tyler Bass. And by the way, I know a lot of people ask about Tyler Bass. No, they're not going to cut Tyler Bass. He's going to be a kicker for the season. It's a $4 million dead cap hit. He's going to kick for the rest of the season. So don't even bother asking.
Yeah, not happening. Yeah.
So, no, other than that, anything to that? Any closing thoughts? D-Dot?
Man, I made it to the end. Yes, sir. Let's pop balloons.
I'm just
Oh,
messing with you.
no.
I'm just messing with you.
Yo. All right, man. I'm out of here, man. Next time see you camera down. I'm going to go get some water and never come back.
Hey, JT, this is one we talked about real brief. I know everybody got to wrap it up. That one you just had up there.
Oh, is Cooper better than Diggs?
You and I spoke about this earlier. I think he is at this present moment. I think he is.
For this Buffalo Bills team, yes. Yeah, because Diggs is a slot and he's a boundary. We need a boundary. Yep, I say for this team, yeah. And in general. So. But other than that, I ain't got any final thoughts. It was a great show. Hopefully we come out a win. Maybe we can go 5-2 next week and be back with another W and keep stacking them together, man. Keep stacking them together. So other than that, thank you guys for tuning in. Your thoughts, your comments. We'll be back next Tuesday. Other than that, peace.